Good everyone, my name is Graphics. If you look at the front of your screen, you will see a problem, and the problem says solve the following system of linear equation using Gauss Elimination Method. 2x plus 3y plus z equals to 13, x minus y minus 2z equals to minus 1, 3x plus y plus 4z equals to 15. Now, there are two ways you can go about it, right? Either you rearrange it or you use them the same way you've seen them. In most materials, you see them rearranging them, but in this case, to enhance your understanding, I'm going to use them the same way the equation is. I'm not changing anything, but have it in mind that if I like, I can make the last equation to be the first and the first equation to be the last, or I can make the second equation to be the first and the last equation to be the second one. Whatever I'm doing, as long as I didn't change any value, any way I arrange them, I'll still get my same answer. So now we'll have it this way. So the step you take in solving Gauss elimination method, right, is by making the first variable in equation 1 the subject of the formula. So let's do that. So what's the first variable? What is equation 1? Equation 1 is 2x plus 3y plus z is equal to 13. So if I want to make x of the formula, I will take every other value to the right hand side of the equality sign. So we are left with 2x is equals to 13 minus 3y minus z. Have it in mind that whenever any figure or variable is crossing the equality sign to the other side of the equality sign, the sign that is attached to it will change. If it is positive, it will turn to negative, and if it's negative, it will turn to what? Positive. So that's why we're having negative here, because 3y and 2z has a positive sign. So when they move to that side, they become negative. So let's move forward. So the next thing here is we will now want to make x the variable to stand alone. So when we do that, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So dividing both sides by 2, so we're having 2x over 2 is equals to 13 minus 3y minus z all over 2. So the 2 here will equate the 2 here, we're left with x. So our final value for x here will now give us 13 minus 3y minus z all over 2. So we're going to term that equation 4, right? We cannot see equation 1 to avoid confusion. So we'll move forward. Now the second step is that whatever you get as your variable for x, you are going to substitute it into y in equation 2. Is that taken? So let's do that and see. So what is my equation of y of equation 2 here? It is x minus y minus 2z is equals to minus 1. So if I put the value of x here, my x will now become 13 minus 3y minus z all over 2. So write back the minus y and you write back the minus 2z equals to what? Minus 1. You can see that? Now, one thing you need to understand is I need to look for the LCM. If you notice, 13, 3y, and z have the same denominator. We know the LCM here is 2, right? So since 13 minus 3y and minus z have the same denominator, nothing will happen to them. I'll write them back. So it will be 13 minus 3y minus 2z minus z, right? Or you say that the 2 under 13 minus 3y minus z into the LCM here will give us 1. That means 2 in the LCM here, because here will give us 1. The 1 times everything that is having the same denominator will become the same thing that we have there. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. So minus, now if you look at minus y minus 2z, right, they have 1 as their common denominator. So 1 in 2 is 2. 2 times minus y minus 2z will give us minus 2z minus 2y minus 4z. Because 2 times minus y will give us minus 2y. 2 times minus 2z will give us what? Minus 4z. So equals to what? Minus 1. So after doing that, we will now cross multiply, right? So that everything will be on a straight line. So cross multiplying, we'll now say that is the 2 going to multiply minus 1. So we'll be having minus 2, right? So we'll now have 13 minus 3y minus 2z, 13 minus 3y minus z, minus 2y minus 4z is equals to 2 times minus 1 will give us what? Minus 2, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make y the solid of formula. Remember, we have to make y the solid of the formula here. Is that taken? So now the next thing will now be collect like terms. Minus 3y minus 2y is minus 5y. Minus z minus 4z will give us what? Minus 5z, right? So that's what we have there. If I take color like terms, I will take 13 to the other side. So it will become minus 5y minus 5z is equals to minus 2 minus 13. Remember, 13 is positive. So when it's going to the right hand side, become what? Negative. So this is what we have. Minus 5y minus 5z is equals to minus 15. Now you can continue like this, but I don't want to work with negative because sometimes negative can become problematic. So what will I do? I'll divide through by minus 5, or you divide through by minus 1. But I'm using minus 5 because of 5 is common in everything. 5 can go in 5 and 5 can also go in 15. So I'll divide through by what? Minus 5, depending on how you want to do yours. So doing that, I'll be having minus 5y over minus 5 minus 5z over minus 5 is equals to minus 15 over minus 5. So this is minus 5 cancel minus 5, we're left with y, plus minus 5 cancel another minus 5 here, we're left with z, equals to minus 15 over minus 5, we're left with what? 3, because minus will equate minus. So this is what we have here. So making y so the formula, the z will go to the other side, the right hand side. So my y will now be equals to 3 minus z. So I'll term that my equation 5. Is that taken? The reason why I call it an equation because we have more than one unknown. So what I will do is I will now put y into equation 3. Put the value of y into what? Equation 3. So in doing that, what's my equation 3? My equation 3 is given as what? 3x plus y plus 4z is equals to what? 15. Is that taken? So now let's write again. So we have 3, but we have the value of x that we got in our equation what? Equation 4. So put it there, which is 13 minus 3y minus z over 2, close the bracket, plus we have the value of y. What's the value of y? It is 3 minus z. We'll put it there, plus our 4z equals to what? 15. Hope you get that. So now we'll now expand. 3 times 13 will give us 39, minus 3 times 3y will give us 9y, minus 3 times 2 times z will give us what? 3z, all over 2, because they have the common denominator, plus 3 minus z plus 4z equals to 15, right? So we'll do the same thing. We want them to have the same LCM. Is that taken? So what I will just do here is bring out your 2, right? So when you bring out the 2 here, so we'll now have this to be the LCM here will now be 2. So since 39 minus 9y minus 3z have the same denominator, so it means that 2, the LCM is 2, right? So 2 in 2 is 1. 1 times everything will give you everything. And what is the everything there? 39 minus 9y minus 3z, right? Plus, now if you look at 3 plus 3z, how do I get the 3z? Because minus z plus 4z to give you 3z. So if you look at 3 plus 3z here, they have the same denominator, which is 1. So 1 in 2 is 2. 2 times everything there will give you everything, which is 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 3z will give you what? 6z. So equals to what? 15. And you're going to cross multiply again. So we'll now be left with, before you move forward, let's see, 39 plus 6 will give us what? 45. Minus 9y is there. Minus 3z plus 6 will give you plus 3z. So equals to, if I cross multiply, 2 times 15 is what? 30. So we have the 30 here. So collect like terms. We'll be left with minus 9y plus 3z equals to 30 minus what? 45. So when 45 is going to the other side, become negative. So if you look at it, we know what the value of y is. We're not working with y because we already have value for y. So what's the value of y? Is 3 minus z. So anyway, you see y, you put 3 minus z. So minus 9, open bracket, 3 minus z plus 3z is equals to what? Minus 15. So if we expand, minus 9 times 3 will give you minus 27. Minus 9 times minus z will give you plus 9z, because minus times minus is plus. Then we have plus 3z equals to minus 15. So if I take minus 27 to the other side, and I add 9z plus 3z because they are like terms, so 9z plus 3z is what? 12z equals to minus 15 plus 27. Because when minus is going to the other side, it becomes plus. So we'll now be left with 12z is equals to what? 12. Because minus 15 plus 27 is 12. So now 12z will now be equals to 12, right? So make z as a formula, divide both sides by 12. So z will now be equals to what? 12 over 12. Because 12z over 12 is equals to 12 over 12. So 12 will cancel 12 here to remain z, and 12 over 12 is 1. So my z is equals to what? 1. So we're good with that. We'll get our value for z. So we'll start doing what they call, we'll now continue with our backward substitution. So from equation 5, right, we have y equals to 3z. So we already have value of z. So put it there. So it will now be y is equals to 3 minus 1, because the value of z is 1. So my y is 2, right? So similarly, I will now substitute the value of y, which is 2, and the value of z, which is 1, into equation 4, because there, what is making my equation incomplete there is because we don't know the value of y and z, but now we'll find it out. So it will now be x is equals to 13 minus 3y minus z over 2. So when you put in your value, x will now be equals to 13 minus 3, open bracket 2, because value of z, y there is 2, and value of z is 1, all over 2. So s will now be equals to what? 13 minus 6 minus 1, all over 2. So x will now be equals to 13 minus 6 minus 1 is 6, all over 2. And our value of x is what? Is 3. So therefore, we see that the value of x is 3, the value of y is 2, and the value of z is 1. So this is the variables that we're looking for from the beginning of what? The equation, right? I would like to give you a tip, an introduction. Sometimes you might have 4 equations, like the one you see on the screen. 2x plus 3y minus 4z plus 2w is equals to minus 4. X plus 2y plus 3z minus 4w is equals to 7. 4x minus y plus 2z minus 2w is equals to 7. 3x plus 5y minus z plus 6w is equals to what? 5. So we have 4 equations. The same thing applies. Let me just give you a tip. From equation 1, you make x solve the formula, whatever you get, you put into equation 2. Now from that equation 2, you will now make, after putting in equation 2, you now make y solve the formula, whatever you get for y. Remember, you've gotten for x and for y now. So you now put the value for both x that you've gotten before and both y you've gotten now into equation 3. So when you substitute into equation 3, you now make z the solve of the formula. So now you now have value for x, y, and z. So you now place your value of x, y, and z that you've gotten from equation 1, 2, and 3, and you now put it into equation 4, where you now get your value for what? For w. The value for w, when you've gotten your answer, you now start putting it back to this equation that you've been getting. Is that okay now? So this is how you have them. You have 4 answers. So that's how we go about it. So if you found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.